The volatility in Bitcoin at this stage is a good thing because it means it's going up in price. As adoption spreads around the world, the volatility will go down, but so will the upside. So however much volatility Bitcoin has, that heavily correlates to how much upside is remaining in Bitcoin. So 10 or 20 years from now, if somebody says, I love it that Bitcoin only goes, only has 1 or 2% a year of volatility, then my response would be, yeah, it's a shame it doesn't still have the same upside it used to have back in 2024. Because I still think, the Bitcoin could easily over the next 5 or 10 years get to 500,000 to $1 million per coin. It's fantastic to have that amount of upside in the relatively near term. If you feel like it's super speculative, study it more. Because if it feels super speculative to you, then it means you have not studied it enough to understand how really solid Bitcoin is. And it means you have not studied the other assets you own and realized how speculative they actually are, which is where most people are. Most people feel like all their other assets are super stable and Bitcoin is speculative. And it's because they spent almost no time understanding how speculative their other assets really are and how solid Bitcoin really is by comparison. If you're dipping your toe in the water, sure, 1% to 5% is great. If you're serious about Bitcoin, 20% to 30% seems a lot more serious and still in the range of reasonable for most people, in my opinion. And then again, if you've spent, thousands of hours studying Bitcoin as compared to every other asset class on the planet, then, people like me end up with 96% of my liquid net worth in Bitcoin because that's the level of my conviction.